people that were doing drugs. And so that is the only reason I started hanging out with them. I was raised in a good home. I knew that that was wrong, but I wanted to be accepted. So I started hanging out with them. I started doing the same things they were doing because they were doing them. And we started to sneak out so that we could do it at night. I eventually got caught, and over a period of time, multiple things that my mom decided that I needed to go live in Pocatello with my uncle because she couldn't handle me. And so I went there, and there I met the same type of people. I sought them out, people that were doing drugs. And I snuck out one night to meet them, and while waiting for them, they didn't come, so I was about ready to go back in the house. And a car came up, and they said, "There's a big party up in the mountains with a bonfire. You want to go?" And to me at the time, because I was so used to hanging out with people that did drugs and everything, I didn't think for a second in this split-second choice that there would be any danger or anything wrong in doing that. So I went. And I got so drunk at this party that I blacked out. The last thing I remember is sitting there and seeing the fire. Next thing I know, I wake up with flashes in and out of consciousness of being raped multiple times. I don't know. Couldn't even tell you because I only remember flashes of it. I woke up the next day at a stranger's house with people I had never met. And it was daytime, and I was snuck out, right? I was supposed to be home. So I was like, oh, crap, I'm in trouble. I was too scared to go back. And so I just kind of hung out with these people for a couple days. Got tired of it, because that's all they did is do drugs and drink. And I didn't like how they were treating me. I ended up walking for, it was a mile or two to get to a phone. And I called my friend, and I thought my friend was going to come get me. But instead it was a police officer came to arrest me. And I went to an adult jail there in Pocatello. And I stayed there for a few hours before my uncle decided to come and get me. And they were doing that to teach me a lesson. After that, I was like in so much trouble. And I actually stopped and didn't do anything bad after that. So a couple months went by. School started. I met friends that weren't doing drugs at school. And things were going really well. And then I started getting sick every morning. Thought I had the flu. Come to find out that I was pregnant, and I was 13, and it was from that party. And my family made all the decisions for me at that point. They sent me back to Salt Lake, and then my mom put me in a foster home so that nobody would know I was pregnant. She was too embarrassed. So I stayed there, was their slave, basically. I took care of their kids and took care of their whole house the whole time I was there. So it was not a good situation. Fast forward to when I had the baby. I just remember being alone in this hospital room, no one there to help me, nobody to tell me what was going to happen. It was 24 hours. And then when I finally have the baby, the doctors, they just take the baby away. Can't even see it. I didn't know anything about it. And I eventually demanded that they show me the baby. And I told my family, I'm not going to do this. I didn't agree to this, And before this, I had hopes and dreams before this happened to me that I wanted to do. But at this point, after I had the baby, that's what I was doing. I didn't care about the hopes and dreams anymore. And long story short, but my mom came to me and told me, you have no choice. You have to sign the papers, or you have to pay the money. You have to pay the hospital bill if you want to keep the baby. Otherwise, you have to sign the baby over. So I had no money, so I had to do it. And I felt like they stole my baby from me. So I had it in my head, the only thing I could think of is find a way to get it back. And so I decided if I got married, then I'd have a family, then they'd give me the baby back, right? So that's what I tried to do, set out to find somebody. So I found someone, got married at 15. 2 months after we got married, he started beating me up. Bruises, knots. One time he choked me until I passed out. I thought I was going to die. Even beat me up when I was pregnant with his child. Got pregnant. Didn't get my baby back. Got pregnant with his child. 16. Single parent again. I left him after he got someone else pregnant. And I same type of people, smoking, drinking, doing drugs people, so I pick another one. Well, same thing happens again, and again, and again, until this whole thing is a cycle. And until you know how to not do that anymore, you're going to keep doing it. If you keep picking people that are doing this, this is what's going to happen. This is what happened my whole life. I've suffered. My kids have suffered. Most of my life I've been a single parent, which is really tough. Really tough, okay? And my one daughter, the daughter of the guy that beat me up when I was 16, she's a drug addict today. And it was because I believe, because my other children are fine, that because her dad died and never was in her life, and she never had a chance to meet him, and I think that really affected her. It is really important to have both parents. I mean, everybody needs both parents. I can see the difference. I didn't have a dad, and that's why I was doing those things that I did. Same thing. So at the beginning, when I first decided to hang out with these guys, because they accepted me, that choice right then, because I didn't know anything about drugs or anything, if I would have not chose to hang out with those people, none of these things would have happened to me. It's happened in my whole life. None of it. I wouldn't have even went down that road at all had someone been my friend. So there's a big thing there. Let's be friends with everyone. It's life-changing, and it could be their life, the person's life. Giving up, thinking nobody wants to be friends with them is so important. Everybody wants to be loved and accepted, don't they? So let's please don't leave people out. And I just have to say also that my stepson, I'm raising my stepson right now, and I am going to adopt him, and his father has threatened to kill me because I reported him for very abusing him. He's right here. And I have to worry for the rest of my life, looking over my shoulder, wondering if it's going to be the time that his dad comes and kills me. Yeah. So, and this all started when I started hanging out with abuse people. Abuse of drugs, abuse of physical, mental, it's all right there. It's all right there in the same thing. I've lived with drug addicts. I could go on and on for hours telling you how horrible it is. And they don't care about anybody but themselves. So just don't go down that road. And I'm sure at the beginning they didn't think that they were going to do those things either. But they did.